Good afternoon, ma'am. Thanks for joining us on this podcast series. How are you
It's a
doing?
pleasure, Abhimanyu. I'm doing good. Yeah.
Yes. Ma'am, just I know very briefly from uh, the industry as such, but I would want you to give a wealth of introduction of yourself because I know you have been an ESG advocate for a very long time and you have taken time out of your well-spun engagement as well. So this would thank you for this opportunity as well as if you could give a brief why did you why did sustainability excite and how did you transition into sustainability as such?
Yeah. Thanks so much, Abhimanyu, and thank you for reminding that I'm getting old day by day. But jokes apart, I bring over 24 years of experience and very fortunate when I say that I have achieved my ikigai in one sense. What I'm good at, is also something that the world needs at this point of time and is also bringing good for the community at large, and I'm getting paid for that. So what else do you need, right? uh, I'm a PhD in sustainability, and I bring over 24 years of diverse experience from academia, from nonprofits, and eventually into corporate. uh, Many may have question as to why corporate, because now the action is happening here, and I'm a person who strongly believes that sustainability is all about action. It is all about on ground change. So that's the opportunity that I felt would be available in corporate. I joined Wellspun Enterprises as the lead ESG and sustainability. And it's been a little while now, but a lot of things that we could do in this short while, including the inaugural sustainability report at Wellspun Enterprises. Yeah.
Great. Ma'am, from the top, how does it feel and what is that you fight on a day in and day out, the leadership level at Welspun?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say it is at the top because sustainability always has to be a lot grounded because
Correct.
it has a lot to do with the nature. Yeah. Those who are at 30 feet high wouldn't be able to do any good because they are not connected with nature, they are not grounded. So I strongly feel that whichever level one goes in ESG or sustainability, I think being grounded and being connected with people and with reality would bring in a lot of difference. But definitely ESG, as a growing as a ESG leader in an organization, yeah, feels a bit different because here ESG and sustainability is all about that transformation that you would like to bring in the organization towards good. It is a lot purpose driven. So I always say at Wilspun Enterprises, we strongly believe that we don't just build infrastructure with steel and cement, but rather it is built with values. It is built with responsibility and purpose. Uh,
Correct.
but bringing that into the thought process and bringing that into reality in strategy, in action, is a big challenge. But it's also exciting. Yeah.
Correct. So, what is your biggest challenge as infrastructure being the industry where you operate? So, for infrastructure on the whole, what are the top challenges as such?
Yeah. So, Abhimanyu, just let me tell you that I'm a very optimistic person. And when I say challenges, what comes to my mind is the opportunity. I would like to
Correct.
first start with what opportunity lies in the infrastructure sector as such. And when it comes to India as a developing country, as part of Vikasit Bharat, the vision that our Honorable PM has for India, and where if you see what is the difference between a developed country and a developing country, the major difference lies in the infrastructure, because once infrastructure gets developed, actually it can support that kind of development that a developed country would like to see, right? So there is also a statement by Honorable PM Sir that don't mind if you see India as a project site infrastructure. Development would happen at that particular rate in India. So it is a great time to be part of the infrastructure sector and contributing to the national development at this particular point of time. Uh, and now coming to the challenges from the point of view of sustainability and ESG. Uh, when you look at the challenges, mainly because the infrastructure operates in the model. Yeah, so like for example, ours is like ham model that we follow. The typically all of the EPC companies would follow that particular model, and where it's always a make and shift kind of a situation that you presently, like for us, there are two verticals that we operate in. One is the transportation vertical or roads, what you can say, uh, and another is the water vertical.
What?
So where we are building Mumbai's STP plant, the sewage treatment plant. This would treat 1/6 of Mumbai's wastewater, yeah, and in a water circular manner. Yeah, because
Got
it
it.
would then get treated further at water treatment plant, small portion of it, and would come back for the use and all. So we are also building water treatment plant separately in Bhandup, and also for UPJJM, part of UPJJM, we are providing water to around 250 plus villages. Under road vertical, we are building road at the border of Pondicherry and Tamil Nadu. And another is in, Varanasi Aurangabad Road project. That's the another one. Third one just got completed, ASRP, and it would be inaugurated very soon. This is a very star kind of a project in that sense. Um, the widest bridge in Asia
Ish.
is now in Bihar
Great.
and built by Welspun Enterprises. But challenges because it is project based. So, your energy footprint, calculating your energy footprint, understanding how you are impacting the water consumption. With every project, it is different. Yeah.
Correct.
Uh, and you may not be able to standardize at a particular point of time, saying that this project only this much of energy should be consumed, or this project only this much construction water should be consumed. So it's very difficult to standardize because it is project manner and it is makeshift. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a postgrad in infrastructure finance, so I understand this, and it's a, a
Interesting.
revision for me because uh, in every course what we took in my post graduation, every faculty had this as a standardized pitch, saying that every project is a unique project and there's nothing which can be standardized. So yeah, I hear.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when this being a top tier, as you rightly said, it's the top down approach that you're doing the biggest dam, biggest STP, you're doing the longest road infrastructure. Now, when you lead the ESG practice at an infrastructure company, what would be your ground level challenges? I would be curious on understanding that.
Yeah. So ground level challenges here remain because, you know, for a single task that has to be completed in an infrastructure project, you would be then handing over your work to many of the subcontractors.
Correct.
So, like for the
Vendors.
wastewater treatment facility, the civil work is with one of the subcontractors. Eventually, when his work gets completed, uh, mechanical wala subcontractor आएगा, electrical wala आएगा, so you have
Okay.
uh, various variable channel partners coming in and helping you. So when you look at the value chain partners, my suppliers are doing excellent, but there could be very small subcontractors coming in for a particular work,
Points. Yeah.
and Yeah, and they may not be at all aware of ESG. In the
Yes.
sense, they could be fits away from ESG. Many of them would be MSMEs that we deal with. In one sense, it is good because then that is where the economy, um, local economy is driven. Yeah.
Correct.
But then the challenge is how do you get them on a same understanding at with the same level कि sustainability is important, ESG is important, ये data collect करना है पहली बात तो so वो convince करना is a tough task. Yeah.
Definitely. So I can understand the complication of it because I I was I had to do uh, detailed research on detailed project reports, the DPRs and such. Uh, One of the closest one what I had done was elevated project in Bangalore during my post graduation, and I can relate to how humongous it is and the complexity in each step in the project as. So coming to the culture side of things, so how is the culture at Wellspun towards sustainability? Because it's a costly affair. When infrastructure itself is a costly engagement, what you're doing, and then sustainability is one step above that because it's expensive as a infrastructure within the infrastructure company, and it's the complex industry and such construction. So the largest emitters of carbon as well. So how do you feel being on top of that ladder, being sustainability being embedded into the infrastructure projects and for the company in itself? So probably as an organization, you might be pro sustainability, but the industry and the scale at things what you do is not so easy. So what's your thoughts about it?
Yeah. So let me tell you, infrastructure isn't yet, declared as hard to abate sector. The hard to abate sector are top eight already announced by the government and all.
Correct.
However, still, because infrastructure depends upon a lot of these, products like cement, steel
Cement,
itself.
steel,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, for that matter. And, so the scope 3 comes from a lot of these things. Yeah.
Mm.
Like, for example, the cement based, you know, you know, share of the scope 3 would be huge. Yeah, for that matter. Like, it would come to something like at least 1 kg ton CO2 equivalent per kg of cement. So you can imagine the amount of, carbon
Scale.
emissions. Yeah,
Mm.
with the kind of raw material which is going into it. And apart from that, even the operations for that matter in infrastructure would lead to a lot of carbon emissions. Yeah,
Correct.
because the kind of heavy equipments that you have as of today in India, most of these would run on diesel. Yeah,
Diesel.
if you recently some electrified equipments have come, like, but then they are, the small versions, may not be the heavy equipments yet. So the whole ecosystem has to evolve
Even.
when an organization has to start giving result. But there are a lot of low hanging fruits for that matter. For example, we just implemented decarbonization servicing, and we have made it mandatory at the sites.
Mm.
Um, so how does this machine work? It's basically HHO gas inserted into the ICE engine
Mm.
would increase the combustion of a fuel, and it would reduce the carbon emissions. At the same time, it would improve the fuel
If
efficiency. So, like this, there are a lot of low
initiative.
hanging fruits which you have to find out with your own innovative research, thought process, and everything, and make a business case out of it. Because I strongly believe that sustainability is equal to strategy going forward.
Correct.
So, it has to go hand in hand with business. for that matter.
And considering the fact that the infrastructure projects are really long gestation period kind of projects, so how does your uh, team, how does your peers within your uh, other functions of the company uh, reciprocate to these kind of initiatives? Because probably as a ESG vertical or as a leader, probably you would have a lot of things. Just saying that, hey, use one bucket less water. It could be a top-down approach, but bottom up, how do they reciprocate to saying that, hey, it's slowing down my uh, work or slowing down my progress of the project?
Yeah. So, Vipin, you remember I had mentioned that sustainability is all about change management.
Correct.
Yeah. So typically, whatever the resistance and whatever challenges are there when it comes to change in any organization, that is applicable when it comes to sustainable transformation. Uh, Typically, you would also find, peers saying that ये तो क्या एक framework है, आप सिर्फ रिपोर्ट बनाते हो, या फिर उसका कुछ एक्शन का ही लाइक दे वुड से क्या जरूरत है, हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. बट वी आर वेरी फॉर्चुनेट दैट द leaders are visionary who are leading these some good organizations. And for me, my my three important big mantras came from our um, Honorable MD Sir, Mr. Sandeep Garg, and he said that Aditi, we want sustainability to become a movement in the organization. It has to be led by Apex team, but it has to be eventually become movement in the organization and no lip service, on ground change. Okay,
Correct.
so when you have those leaders sharing that vision, yeah, being vocal about it. Uh, One thing which we did uniquely to make this a movement is we launched something called as Executive Sustainability Strategy Lab. So where we involve all of the Apex leaders, along with them the departmental heads, and we take up discussions as to हमारा ESG goals and targets, what we had to take. They were they were adopted after discussion with all of the stakeholders internally who are decision makers in the first go. Plus, there is a lot of training and capacity building which is happening within the organization. So, be it at the medium level or be it at the entry level, a lot of training and capacity building is happening. So that's the only thing, and a lot of cross-functional working, because the projects are completely dependent upon the success of those projects is completely dependent upon a lot of these stakeholders. A lot of cross-functional work is what is involved. Like we cannot implement a project to actually implement, suppose, solar for that matter. For solar, I'll have to work closely with the project team. I'll have to closely work with the procurement team. I have to closely work with IT, all of them, right? So that's what
At
is
the scale where we are, there's no limited
correct.
number of offices where you sit out of manufacturing plants. It's like today you
Yeah,
are here and tomorrow you are 100 meters or 100 kilometers away from the location.
yeah, true, true. In fact, sometimes you feel like ये अलग से team है कि suddenly for some projects you are so much into procurement team that you start feeling, oh, am I part of procurement
Part of
team?
procurement. I think
Or
that that solves for your scope three also, right? Because you work so closely with the suppliers and the procurement side of things, probably it also eases things out for your scope three emissions because for the value chain you are dependent on their data.
yeah, true. And a lot of these projects where procurement has to be, low embedded carbon, some project, or it could be some product. So that also happens through them. A lot of support from the IT team, because all of the digitization and basically ESG data management happens through the support of, the IT team that you have. So that's also very critical. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for your time, and really appreciate that. And you have a 2040 aggressive goal of reaching net zero. Would love to follow you through that and see how soon can you reach that even before that
Yeah.
milestone.
Yeah. So in fact, in infrastructure, when it comes to carbon neutrality, the approach is a bit different
Different.
than many of the other sectors. How I would say that. Uh, in our case, circular economic principle adoption has worked wonders in case of infrastructure. Like for example, we substituted cement with fly ash.
Correct.
Yeah. Or we are also using now, the slag from the steel, uh, you know, the industrial waste from the steel,
For the
which is again another replacement for the cement. So what happens is like with this, your cement footprint and then carbon footprint also goes down.
adjust.
Similarly, like another thing that I would like to say that how we work on the resource efficiency again.
Mm.
We are using recoupler bars, which
Mm.
actually reduces the amount of steel what is required.
Required.
Interestingly, infrastructure is also one of the sector where a lot of circularity principle is followed in terms of waste recycling and reuse
Mm.
because the waste had value.
And the
Yeah,
scale at which you are doing, because
correct.
you're uh, digging at one place and you have to refill the land at a different place so that circularity happens automatically.
Yeah, yeah. So with the dismantling of the road, the whatever debris or the construction debris and this automatically becomes the filling for the next
Different
project that you have in or the next patch that you are working
patch.
on
Yeah.
in the project. So we almost reused around 350 metric tons of construction waste
Conception. That's
last
significant.
year. It's huge. It's huge. Can
And
imagine.
if
And
that's
imagine that going to landfill or not getting reused or recycled.
reused at all.
Yeah.
And these are
A lot
long
of scrap.
scrap.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
And
scrap
these are
also.
long period projects. So even if it's reused, it's consumed for a very long, minimum 100 days.
Abs Absolutely. Absolutely. So it would be there, sitting there for a life of a particular road project, you can imagine.
Road project.
Uh, yeah. Instead of soil, we are using pond ash.
Pond.
And you will not believe it is almost 11 lakh tons of pond ash that we have used, and that much soil is saved last year by us.
Interesting.
So
And this is
riverbed is intact.
correct. And this is what paves the path for the next cycle of things. You're laying the road
Absolutely.
theoretically and in practical sense, and you have a lot of industries following you in that path.
True. True. Even interestingly, infrastructure was an early on sector where design also got very sustainable. If you see, like for example, the culverts
Hmm.
which are in place wherever you have water streams, you must have seen in the simplest of the road project also, if there is a water stream going, they ensure that the water stream it doesn't stop.
Stop.
It gets the path through
Path.
the road. Yeah.
Correct.
So we are building this road at the border of Pondicherry and Tamil Nadu. Karaikal is the
Hmm.
place. So by the way, Karaikal is also the place in the world. There are only two places in the world where ozone level are highest. One
Hmm.
of it is Karaikal. Okay,
Interesting.
so that is
That's
very interesting.
something for
So
me to take back as well.
yeah, yeah. So that particular project, SNRP project, you will find the culverts put all throughout the road stretch to protect your water streams, because
mm,
that's the area which is full of water,
mm.
basically, So to protect the biodiversity in that region, it was also important to protect the water streams there. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot for your time. And it was really interesting, and you shared so many interesting facts within your infrastructure projects, which wouldn't come out for the audience if not via your own speech. And thanks a lot for your time. Really appreciate that. And we would love to see your progress towards net zero and circular uh, initiatives, what you're taking at Wellspun, so that it brings in a lot of motivation and trust to the MSMEs and the real estate builders or other contractors in the same space as such or parallel space who
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
it's not possible thinking at their scale. When they look at it from your scale, probably it brings in a motivation to start seeing that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because just imagine with all of this, you have been able to avoid 36,000 tons of CO2 emission just
Yes.
last 1 year. So you're, picking small, small, action point initiatives,
Cumulatively
actually
becomes really
brings bigger impact at the end of the day. So this is the message for all of my fellow colleagues in ESG and sustainability, that uh, impossible is only I am possible in that sense. And wishing all luck, swimming upstream, because
good.
what we are doing is swimming upstream
Super.
when we are working in sustainability. It's just that our drive and our perseverance actually would
Takes
would
the
eventually bring the change. And when you get exhausted, rest a little, enjoy a little, and remind yourself of the purpose.
So it reminds me of the trek uphill.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks a lot, man. Really
Yeah,
appreciate your time and would love to have you on our concurrent series of podcasts as well. Really
yeah.
appreciate it.
Looking forward to Abhimanyu, and great job being done at RIU, and wishing you all the best
Thank you.
going
Thank you.
forward. Yeah, yeah. Thank you.